Okay. Okay. I'm right on time. Let me refresh my live screen. This thing is ghetto. Okay, there we go. All right. Where's my screen? Okay, here we go. Now, this is the last time I'm going to address Cynthia G. I feel embarrassed that I've gotten this far. It's like the third or fourth video. I feel ashamed about it because deep down I think she is a troll. She's just a troll. And that is one reason I think Tariq did not give her a serious response. He did not give her a serious response. He just started to clown her and troll her and was done with it. He called her a pathological liar and basically refused to have an intellectual debate with her. Now, look, I would not debate her directly because all she would do is interrupt you, talk over you, yell over you. It would not be a real debate. So I would not personally debate her directly. But somebody of Tariq's status, if you want to call it that, I think that's the best way he could have responded to it. Now, after he called her a pathological liar, I gave it some thought, and it really hit me how much she lies. It's like her entire narrative, her platform is heavily dependent on lies. Lies and generalization. She speaks about a certain segment of black males and projects the idea that all black men are this way. All of them. I think she has a love-hate relationship with black men, right? She's got some mixed emotions going on. And you cannot take a person like that seriously. Someone who is irrational, and she's extremely irrational, extremely. And I think she knows it. She knows she's unreasonable, absolutely unreasonable, and you cannot have an intellectual debate with her or anyone like her. So she's just on here trolling. Now, she made this post today about how Tariq is not capable of having an intellectual debate with her. She believes she'll make him look dumb. Now, the only thing she would do is talk about how black men are defeated, how black men are conquered, how black men are dominated by white men, and how every other group of men outperforms black men economically and so forth. Now, this is a very weak and cheap argument, no matter how you slice it. Let's say Tariq, let's say black men as a whole were to admit, okay, Cynthia, you're right. Black men are defeated. We have been conquered. And we are dominated by white men. If black men were to do that, is that something that black men have never faced or admitted to before? Or is it black men repeating themselves? See, the thing is, black men have been man enough to admit this decades ago. Decades. There is an endless number of black males, activists, teachers, professors, so on and so forth, who have made this information public, who flat out had lectures, written books about black men being conquered and currently being dominated. All Cynthia G and her crowd does is try to use the information that black men have confessed to already to insult black men. It's just a bitter black woman thing. Now, let me make this straight. This is not a roasting of Cynthia G. I don't have the energy for that. Don't have the energy. And I truly don't have any hatred in my heart for black females. So I don't think I could give a proper roasting even if I tried. I truly don't have that kind of energy in me because I feel like I understand. I have a thorough understanding of black people, what we've been through, and how we are currently destroyed. So this is not a roasting. And I might not say everything that I'd like to say, but I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try not to keep you too long here. I got things to do as well. But that is a very cheap tactic. Like someone who would do something like that, you don't even respond to people like that. You just look at them. You know, you just give them that look like you know something wrong with you. We know something wrong with you, and we're not even going to talk about it. We're not even going to have this conversation. Because many men wouldn't even be man enough to admit something like that. This film that Tariq made, Buck Breaking, it take a real man, it take real men to have a serious discussion about something like that. And once again, she takes that and tries to insult black men with it. Her thing is to just get black men's attention. That's all she wants. She wants attention, and she wants to get an emotional response out of you. Now, I want to be careful in this live stream because, again, I don't want to insult anybody, but this is kind of embarrassing because I have to deal with black women and their self-hatred. And that's why Tariq chose to only talk about her hair. And she complains about it all the time. All black men want to talk about is hair. But really, Cynthia G provokes that out of black men. She provokes that because she talks this pro-blackness. She used to be like 100% pro-black, and now it's kind of mixed in with I hate black men, I hate black men. And that comes out of frustration. But when you see a black woman with that type of weave, this is the thing with Cynthia G. Black men seriously, consciously or subconsciously, they cannot take women like this seriously. And I don't mean any disrespect to Cynthia G. I don't have the energy to disrespect this woman. Now, let me ask you something. Now, I just Googled Cynthia G, and these are the Google images that came up. Let me ask you something. I know black women like the back of my hand. Black women have the widest assortment of hairstyles of any group of women on this planet by far. By far. Because their hair is like almost like Play-Doh. They can fix it and shape it and form it in all kinds of different ways. Right? Let's take a look at some of these mad, wild, crazy, incredibly creative hairstyles that black women have come up with over many thousands of years. It's pretty ridiculous, the options available. It's pretty incredible. I mean, if you take the time to look them up, it's almost like a never-ending option. There is so many natural hairstyles available for black women. It's ridiculous. Right? Look at this one. Well, look at that. Look at that. That is sick. That is sick, man. I mean, to non-black women, these hairstyles are like intimidating. I mean, even to black people got to take a double take. Like, whoa. My point is, with all the options available to black women, why does Cynthia G only choose the traditional appearance of Becky? Why does she only choose the hairstyle of what she calls women of no color? That she bashes black men for dating? Why is it that she only chooses to style her hair in the way that's natural for women of no color? It is because Cynthia G is dealing with self-acceptance, self-hatred, and inferiority complex. Now, I'm not saying this to mock this woman. I don't get nothing out of making fun of people who got mental disorders. And trust me, we all got mental disorders. We all got mental disorders. Let's just be honest. So this is a fellow black person with a mental disorder. She just expresses it in a different way, right? Her mental disorder come off different. It's got a different vibe to it. She wants to look like Emily, like Karen. That's Karen's hairstyle. You cannot get mad at black men for being obsessed with women of no color when you are expressing a greater degree of obsession with them than black men are. I said this, I don't know how many times, I say it again. I cannot imagine black men taking hair that's been cut off the head of a white man and gluing it to their head. You would have to be out of your mind. You would have to strap a black man down for that to happen. He's not going to allow that to happen. When black men decide to wear weave, and I just found out about this, guess what? Black men's weave is hair from black men. They're getting Afro weaves. So even if you wanted to criticize black men for wearing weave, what kind of hair are they using? They're not using hair from Brad's head. They're not going to the barber shop telling the barber to hook them up with some hair that came out of Ken's head. Black men do not, I repeat, do not have an inferiority complex like black women do. We all have an inferiority complex. Let me be clear. All black people have an inferiority complex. It's just that black men have shed much of it away that black women have not. And that's just the way that is. So it's hard to call black men defeated in the way that she does. She insists black men are defeated. Now, it's one thing to be defeated economically, militarily. It's another thing to be defeated mentally, psychologically, to the point where the people who oppress you dictate how you look at yourself. That's one thing you have control over. They cannot take control over your mind, how you view yourself. That was the importance of the civil rights Black is Beautiful movement. Those were important moments in our history that changed us forever, particularly changed Black men forever. But it did not set with the vast majority of Black women. They went back to trying to look like Becky. And this is why Tariq does not take her serious. This is why a lot of Black men don't take her serious. They know she's trolling, she's lying, she's not being honest. And on top of that, she's dealing with a very strong inferiority complex. So it's like not even worth it to debate somebody like this, especially when on top of all of that, she's using Black men's talking points. Again, like I said, she's using talking points that Black men have been man enough to come out and admit. And let me be clear, I don't know, there have been a few people who recognize me on this channel. I made an entire channel. I believe she got that narrative, that talking point from me. Search around on YouTube. You'll find a channel called SBW. That is a very old channel of mine. And I don't remember anybody referring to Black males as a conquered group of men before I did on that channel. Again, narratives she's using are narratives that Black men, and she wasn't even out at that time. Maybe she had just came out. I can't remember. But once again, using talking points that Black men were man enough to come out and admit it in order to talk about it, in order to look for a solution. But deep down, Cynthia G, it kills her. It tears her up inside, I believe, that Black men don't rule the world. More than anything else, she wants Black men to have economic and military power over every group of men on this planet. Cynthia G is absolutely head over heels in love with and obsessed with Black men. I'm quite sure she had to have known that Black men would eventually figure this out. How could she not know that? If you on YouTube long enough, look, your people know you. We know you. And we're going to figure you out. You talk long enough. She is head over heels in love with and obsessed with Black men. And that is why she's developed so much bitterness, disappointment, and hatred for Black men. It started off as an obsession, a strong, powerful love. And her channel bears witness to that. When she first came out, she was all about the evil albinoids, going in on white supremacy. She wasn't talking about swirling. She wasn't no interracial relationship dating coach. She wasn't like that. Then she slowly changed. That obsession she has with Black men, it morphed because of her disappointment that Black men don't rule the world. That's what she wants more than anything. And it kills her. It literally kills her inside. That Black men are not in control of this nation and are not in control of this planet. Now, her real problem is with integration, in my opinion. I think her real problem is with integration, or at least the majority of her problem is with integration. And let me come back to that. And let me point something out real quick. Cynthia G and all the Black women like her, It kills them to see black men dating non-black women. We all know this. If you follow her, if you listen to her, it kills her. It just absolutely tears her up inside to see black men choosing these other races of women. Nobody who hates black men would devote so much time and energy towards black men. Nobody. I went a long time without dating black women. Not only did I not date them, I did not get online and talk down about them or anything like that. Because, you cannot talk to the lost. You can't talk to people who out here, screwed up in the head. Some people are going to stay that way. I figured out that what I need to do is link up with the black people who are being constructive, who are making things happen in the world. In the previous video, I pointed out how Cynthia G lies a lot, generalizes. She's irrational and unreasonable. When she says that black men don't build, black men can't give you a job, she says things like that. Now, how can you have a serious debate with somebody like that? I gave an example where black men, right now as I speak, have provided employment for hundreds of thousands of people. I provided about 18 businesses, massive businesses where black men are the CEO, providing employment. And I believe what she should do, what would help her spiritually and mentally, is to focus on the black people who are actually making things happen. It would be a totally different Cynthia G if every time she came on here, she would advertise or at least make publicize the different black businesses that currently exist, which is the real problem. The black businesses that we have right now don't get enough respect or attention or promotion from the so-called pro-black sector. Because that's a full-time job. Because there are plenty of black businesses, thousands of black businesses right here in the United States. And the problem she has, that a lot of black people have, they focus on the very worst segment of our community. But you don't see other groups, people in other groups, you don't see them doing that. They get in a conversation, they have a discussion, they're talking about the whites who are doing big things. They're dealing with different ideas for themselves where they can come up with something. Right? They're dreaming and saying, hey, you heard about this company, this guy, he's a CEO of XYZ. Whereas black people, we feel like we need to raise the ghetto. The ghetto will be just fine. There are plenty of geniuses that come out of our hoods. Plenty. Most of the blacks, I would say most of the blacks who have, gained employment or they've moved up the socio-political, the economic ladder, social mobility ladder, most of them came from the hood. They started out low, housing projects. They'll be all right. The hood will be all right. If you are an educated, higher learned person, in my opinion, you should focus on your peers, right? And you should focus your attention on those above you. Talk about what they're doing. I showed these big, huge, massive companies that are employing thousands of people with black males as the CEO. Focus on them. That's how the masses will grow and develop. Not by paying attention to the dusties, You're not going to reform no Dusties. They listen to your video, the Dusties just going to get mad, get emotional, and want to have a debate with you, a little stupid, meaningless, pointless debate. I mean, it absolutely does nothing but stir up people's emotions. Black men don't listen to Cynthia G's videos and get inspired to build. So it's just a big emotional tirade. I think Cynthia G is a bit hurt, very hurt, that her kings, black men, don't rule the world, right? So like I said, black men gave her all her talking points. Black men were man enough to articulate their position in this world, and she used black men's confessions to insult them. She figured that's a good way to get black men motivated, or she's just getting off on hurting, insulting, being abusive towards black men. Like I said, she got a love-hate relationship with black men. And she's not alone. I think there's plenty of black women in this country like that. They have a love and a hatred. 100%. And I'm nonchalantly saying it because I understand it. We are dominated. And that's just, you're going to have dysfunctions. Any group of people who are dominated, they're going to be dysfunctional in several ways. Shouldn't come as any type of surprise. Let me tell you something. If there were no black men at all who paid Cynthia G any attention, she would be devastated. She would be absolutely devastated. The only thing that really keeps her going is that she have black men sending her messages, leaving posts on her channel and stuff like that. If all she ever heard from was other black women, she would be devastated. If black men were to just look at her and smile and laugh, that's not the kind of response she's looking for. I showed this comment on a different video, live stream, and I want to repeat it. I know it looked blurry, but I'm going to read it. She said, that's why they use scare tactics against us when it comes to interracial dating. She said, listen, I never thought I would write during my lifetime, but girls, I'm afraid that us opening our options can only benefit us in our relationship with black men. They would actually have to compete for black women. And we've heard Cynthia G say, she says things like this all the time. So she's basically admitted here that this promotion of divesting, of hooking up with Brad, that their true motive is to get black men's attention. To get black men to be a little more obsessed with them rather than with Becky or with Chun-Li or whoever, any other non-black group of women. Right? This is trolling 101. So it's not just Cynthia G. As you can see, this is a different individual. Black female stan account. And they're all over. They are all over. Now, many of them date white men or whatever. You're always gonna have a segment of black people who date interracial. Because black people don't have as much influence on the country or the planet. Don't have as much influence as whites. But it's not that far off now. We have a lot of influence, strong, powerful influence. Don't get it twisted. But whites have more, and they have the power to project themselves in a more desirable way than black people. So I don't pay these divestors any attention, these swirlers any attention. I would say a good half of them end up going right back to black men anyway. Because the fact is, black people got a unique energy. And if you can't connect to it, and they can't connect with Brad, I mean, there's a limitation to how much you can feel Brad, right? Same with black men. There's a disconnect there that's not there with somebody from your own group. And that's the same way I would imagine with people in all groups. So who cares? Go ahead and knock yourself out. Go date Brad, date whoever you want. You are but one fish in a large pond, very large pond. Every time I go out and I see black women with their kids, every now and then I'll see a biracial baby. They almost always got some black kids. So, there's never, ever, I don't care how long Cynthia G and those other YouTubers on YouTube promoting interracial dating, I don't care. They can do that till their head fall off. They're always going to be the minority. Interracial relationships will always be the minority. She uses that to try to insult black men too. That don't nobody want us, they're divesting and all this. Now again, I'm not getting off on sharing this information, but it's a fact, at least according to marriage, right? At least according to marriage. Now they say black female, white male marriages are more successful. Okay, let's say it is. But the fact is, white women's first preference when they date outside of their race is black men. That's a fact. She said in one of her videos otherwise. I don't know where she's getting that information from. When white women date out, they usually date black men. See, this is black man right here. Black husband, white wife. 390,000. And this is from 2021, if I'm not mistaken. Now, when white men date outside their race, their first option is not black women, Asian women. Right? Black women, 168,000. Asian women, 529. It's significant. More than double. White men's first choice is Asian women. Not only that, all other groups of women other than black. See, other wife, 487,000. What does that mean? Means black women are the last on the list for white men when white men date outside their race. Again, I'm not saying this to take swipes at black women. I'm just sharing the fact. I mean, because I heard her on the video talking about you dusty, don't nobody want you. I'm trying to show you that she lies. There's no balance. It would be one thing if she would balance her criticism out with some facts that are in black men's favor. It would be different if every now and then she would credit black men for something. She don't, which lets you know what? She's trolling. She's being a bitter black female who's let her emotions take over. When she starts talking on her videos, it's almost 100% emotion, even when she deals with facts. She uses them in a way that's so exaggerated that she's just completely emotional, so irrational and unreasonable that she's completely emotional. Asian men, when they date out, their first preference is who? It's white women. See? Asian husband, white wife, 219,000. Who's the second option? Other, 28,000. Last on Asian men's list is black women. It was a guy on Cynthia's show who said, "Oh, y'all can't go nowhere. Where you going? Where you gonna go? You might as well submit to black men." And she got heated. Boy, she got mad. And her girlfriends. Girl, you hear what he just said? But he had a point. Where you gonna go? Now, you can go somewhere if you want. I don't care. But really, black women don't meet the society's standard of beauty. It's just that simple. The standard of beauty in this society, really on this planet, is white women, not black women. They're the absolute opposite. Now, I'm not saying black women are not attractive. Not at all. I'm just saying black women are different. They're different. And I think if black women will stop trying to cover their differences up, if they would embrace their differences, they'd be better off, in my opinion. Because what they don't seem to understand is a lot of your attractiveness comes from you being yourself. You just being yourself. Other husband. I don't know what this other is. You know, maybe Hispanic, mostly Hispanic, I guess. Other husband. Their first choice is a other wife. So I assume it means Hispanic mostly. Maybe some islanders or whatever. They ain't black or white, or Asian. That's their first choice. Other husband, other wife. What's their second choice? White wife. What's their third? Asian wife. What's the last? Black wife. Right? So, hey, again, I'm just pointing out that she lies. Black husband, of course, primarily black wives, but when they date out, they usually date white women. And they date white women at a much higher rate than black women, or than black women marry white men. So I don't understand this narrative that she has on her channel that black men are dusty, don't nobody want you, you're the last on the totem pole, you're the last on everybody. And it's pretty crazy if black men are in such a horrible state and condition, why are they white women's first option? Why is that? And pretty much black men date every other type of women at a higher rate than black women date and marry every other type of men. So what's the problem here? Why is this? Why is this? Is it because black women look more masculine? Maybe. Maybe. There was a couple studies done where they said that black women have more testosterone than other women of the planet. Right? They have bold features. Black women have bold features. A lot of these men of other groups, it makes them feel funny. Some of them, now, don't get me wrong, it's a fetish for a lot of them. They get in it, it's a sexual thing or whatever. But when it comes to marriage, being in a serious relationship might be a different thing. Now, even though they said black women got more testosterone than other groups of women, they also said black women got more estrogen than other groups of women, which is understandable. You need estrogen to balance it out. They found that black women as a whole just got more hormones. than other groups of women. And the same went for black men. Black men naturally got more testosterone than all other groups of men on the planet. So black people just got a whole lot more hormones, right? Whole lot more hormones. They got strong, bold features, strong, bold skin tone, strong, bold, different hair, right? So when you're so different, man, you need to be yourself. And I'm going in full circle, going right back to why Tariq just clowned her hair and left it at that. Because on top of everything else, I mean, even if Cynthia had an afro, she's irrational, she tells lies, and these are brutal lies. She's irrational, unreasonable, she tells lies, and on top of that, she's dealing with feelings of self-hatred, an inferiority complex. She's having self-acceptance issues. And that needs to be dealt with first. You're going to have to deal with that first before we talk about anything else, before I even have a serious discussion with you. And you're going to have to be realistic and reasonable, balanced and fair if you really want an intellectual debate. And she doesn't. She's just trolling black men for attention and maybe to get off on seeing black men hurt and embarrassed. But there is a problem with this. At the end of the day, there are a lot of lunatics in the world who would probably be more influenced or inspired to carry out some type of foul act against black men. Why not? Even their black women are online publicly demonizing them. And Cynthia G and her crowd, they use these white supremacist tactics to demonize black men. This tactic of generalizing black men, focusing on the small segment of black men who are, quote, dusties, and projecting the entire bunch that way. That's a white supremacist tactic. And they've positioned themselves as white supremacists against black men. I'm talking about these black women, Cynthia G and her supporters. They've positioned themselves as white supremacists against black men. And they function to support genocide, just like white supremacists. There are some young people who have never heard much of anything. They're still learning. This black sector, this black world is new to a lot of young people. There are a lot of young black girls trying to look up to somebody. And they find a Cynthia G. Now, before they found Cynthia G, they were this pro-black, young little black girl, right? Ready to serve her people, to support her men, to help raise better sons, to not be abusive to their sons, right? She wanted to be different. Didn't want to be like her abusive mother. Then she hears somebody like Cynthia G. Cynthia G. And now she hates black men. The more she listens, the more hatred builds up, right? So what did Cynthia G accomplish? She accomplished dividing black people, even black people who wanted a black mate. Young black boys, right? You got 12-year-olds and younger on YouTube. young black boys, find Cynthia G's channel. They were all pro-black at first. Black community, black first, black women, black woman is God. You notice she never talks about that sector of black men who say the black woman is God. And it's a whole lot of them. She talk about, oh, black men, they don't honor you. They don't honor you. They don't respect you. They don't publicly advocate. This is a black male worshiping culture. Black men don't worship black women. Again, Cynthia focuses on a small segment of black people, black men, and projects the idea that all black men are this way. And really, black men are the only group of men who've shown public adoration for their women and have publicly exalted them. Black men are the only group of people who have ever done that in history. You've never seen no group of white men run around here talking about white is beautiful, the white woman is God, dear mama, made all these songs about they black mama and black women. Get out of here. We're not stupid. You're trolling. Nobody has been as passionate about their women as black men. You don't find no Indian dudes out here praising and honoring the Indian woman. Man, they be in there beating them women half to death. Most of these different races of people. Verbal abuse, you have no idea. No idea what you're talking about if you believe that. Many of these white women who get with black men, that's the first thing they talk about. It's so romantic and loving and, you know, all this and that. But yet Cynthia G says, oh, it's a black male worshiping God. See, you can't take you serious. Can't take you serious. That's why we can't have no serious debate. We're not going to have no intellectual debate with somebody who's that irrational, that unreasonable. So she focuses her attention only on black men who date interracially. And I think she would be better off if she focused on black men who don't date interracially. There's far more of them. There are plenty of black men who've never dated outside their race, ever. Especially these black men who come from, predominantly black communities. They just don't be, there's a lot of black men, when it comes to romance, they're just not feeling white chicks like that. They're just not. They feel awkward. They feel out of place. Right? There's too many moments of awkwardness, goofy moments, cringe moments. Where with black women, they're totally on code. The chemistry is there. And all it takes is that one time be like, oh no, I tried dating interracial once, but it didn't work. So why don't you focus on developing those relationships? The black couples who are out here doing good things, right? Raising a family, involved in daycare activities, different this and that. I feel like the black people who are doing positive things out here, they don't get enough respect and support. Instead, we basically support the negativity in the community. And that's unfortunate. Black men are competing. We are competing. Like I was saying earlier, her problem is with integration for the most part. Because let's say we acquired Texas right now, black people. They say, oh, everybody who's not black, you got to leave Texas. Texas is only for black people. If that were to happen, you would find out that currently, as I speak, there are black legislators, black people who actually know how to control a government We got black people in government positions who know how to pass laws. We got black CEOs. I went over them in a previous video. Know how to run huge companies in industries, institutions. You find out we got what? Black doctors. We got black military men. Men who can snipe you from far away. The only thing we lack is physical land. So now what? Now what are you accusing black men of being lazy about? Well, why don't you go out there and take the land? What? You're not taking the land. Come on, Cynthia. You don't want black men to go out here and start slaughtering white men. Do you know if black men were to start doing that has to be what you're suggesting. You're suggesting that black men go out here and start killing white men. That they run up into the White House, run up into all the military bases, run up in white people's houses, and start chopping their heads off. That's what you're suggesting. They're not just going to give us land. You can forget about that. And even if they did, you criticize black men for being given something. They gave it to you. You didn't take it. You don't want no smoke like that. Do you know how many black women would be protecting white men if black men went out here and started killing them? Y'all stop that. Don't be killing any and every white man you see. Y'all lost y'all mind. Black women would probably be on the front lines protecting white men. Not only that, black men would probably get slaughtered in mass. In mass. Probably. Now, look, I don't know about that for sure because I believe they undercount black people. They claim what? Black people, 12% of the United States. I don't believe that. I've been all over this country. I'm telling you, the vast majority of people in this country live in big cities. When you go to big cities, man, you see all kind of black people. It's like at least half, if not the majority of these cities is black. So I don't even know about that. But let's say we're outnumbered like they say we are. Man, black men would get slaughtered in mass. So what, you want to send black men on a suicide mission to acquire some land? That's not a smart general. I mean, if you're obviously playing the role of a general or something, that's not smart. You'd be better off just sitting back and not doing nothing. Let time pass. They say the planet getting hotter, right? So maybe you can just wait till they die off. The white population decreasing, the sun will kill them. Chill out, relax, enjoy your life, right? Stop getting all excited, getting your nerves worked up. Black people got bad enough nerves. We don't need to be getting online every day, getting worked up, get to sweating, your heart beating, high blood pressure and all that. Calm down and relax. Everything gonna be all right. You know? But we are competing. We simply don't have control of physical land, a physical body of land. And if we did, you see there are black people in every single segment required to run a nation. So I believe Tariq's response was proper. I think the main thing, because a person who is really comfortable with themselves and love themselves, in my opinion, they don't behave the way Cynthia and her followers behave. They don't get into that. They don't get into bringing people down, no matter who it is. They're obsessed with trying to bring and build people up, especially the people who they feel like they connected to, or their counterpart, people who they claim they want to see do better. They don't do that. They don't come at them in a negative way like that. They just don't. So I think there's a lot of self-hate issues, acceptance issues, inferiority complex issues that need to be dealt with a certain segment, a small segment. I'll say small segment of black people. Right now, we're talking about black women, and I think they need to deal with themselves. Their problem mainly is with themselves, not with black men. And I find it, it's real funny to me that she calls black men dusties and they're all this and that, when the facts show that the average black man make more money than the average black woman. How is that? This is from the labor statistics. This is government information right here. Look, by sex, the average weekly earnings for black men was $834. The average for black women was $768. So how is it that these dusties, on average, make more money than black women who are supposed to be the most educated in the country? How that happen? And how are they dusties? Like at my job, I work at a welding facility. Everybody in there is a welder. Let me tell you, a good 60% of that company is black. Black men. It's about 3 black women working there. Loaded with black men. You know why the average black man make more than the average black woman? Because black men, they're not afraid to grind. They will work over 40 hours. They'll get that overtime. Not a problem. They're willing to work the harder jobs. They don't require a degree. They get in them construction fields. They'll hop on those forklifts. They'll do these jobs that take muscle, that make you break a sweat. These jobs that the average black woman don't want. They want to get a little associates, a little bachelor's, sit in a little office where you only get restricted to 40 hours, where even with your degree now, you still don't make more than these black men outside the office grinding, because they willing to put in a few extra hours at the end of the day. On top of that, you paying back school loans, and you're going to be doing that for a few years. So that's going to offset your income. That's already less than the black man's. So what are we talking about here? What's this dusty coming from? Where is the dust coming from on these black men? Where the dust? I don't see no dust. I don't see no dust at all. And on top of that, I was reading this article while I was listening to a video by this guy who pointed out this article that came out of a book that this guy wrote, that no, most black kids are not fatherless. And they pointed out how there are more black men who are fathers who live with their kids. According to the CDC, 2.5 million black men live with their kids and 1.7 million don't. Right? So the vast majority of black men live with their kids. So this is another lie that she uses on her platform, just like a white supremacist. But if she's comfortable, if she and her cronies are comfortable operating like white supremacists, so be it. I mean, I don't even have the energy to care. You do what you want. As a black man, I understand all groups look down on us. Asian men, Asian women, white men, white women, Indian men, Indian women. Hispanic men, Hispanic women. So it's nothing if black women are the same way. And of course, it's not all of them. If there's a little segment of black women who are the same way as those others, and it's not all of those, you have Asians, whites, Hispanics, crazy about black people, of course, but I'm not going to generalize the way she does and project the entire black female population as these anti-black male white supremacists, like she projects all black men as dusties. And all black men got kids that they ain't taking care of. I guess I'm a dusty. I don't make that much money. I make about 55,000 a year. I don't have no kids. I've never paid child support. I stay by myself. I do pretty good. I'm comfortable. But I'm a dusty. According to her, I'm a dusty. Okay, I'll be that. But again, if you're comfortable operating like a white supremacist, that's your prerogative. Nothing I can do, nothing anybody can do to stop you. Go right ahead. But the least that I can do is put the truth out here a little bit. There need to be some truth out here to counterbalance these lies, no matter where the lies come from, whether they come from black women, whether they come from other people. They need to be offset with the truth. And she's spreading a whole lot of lies, and it can do a lot of damage because she's attracting the attention of white supremacists at this moment. She's already had one, maybe more than one on her show. She says she plans on having more. So she is operating like a full-blown white supremacist at this point, and I think that should be taken seriously because she's trying to spread the idea, basically try to turn it into a black female culture to operate like a white supremacist, right? And that'll definitely be something that black men will want to be aware of and have the knowledge to debunk when they encounter it, right? So that's my rant. Hopefully I didn't forget too much. I will see you all on the next live stream.